Terence Crawford finishes Kell Brook in the fourth round. Knuckleheads, welcome to the Fighters Rep, where we give you free fights, interviews, fight commentary, and we go live after the big fights. Thanks for joining your boy. It's Get It Right Saturday night, so I hope you're getting it right with, whatever you partake in, whether it's drinks or something else. Hopefully that's legal. And, This was a manifestation of Terence Crawford in the ring. This was a crescendo of Terence Crawfordness in the ring. That's what I'm going to call it. I'm going to call this a crescendo of Terence Crawfordness, because Terence Crawford, the way I see him, right? If I'm to describe Terence Crawford, it's a hyper-technical guy that is not only hyper-technical, but has a vicious mean streak and a killer instinct. And, it's that killer instinct that separates the great fighters from the regular fighters and the elite fighters from the great fighters. And Terence Crawford has that in spades, you guys. And, I thought, incorrectly, at least partially, I thought that this could be the toughest fight of Terence Crawford's career. And the reason I thought that is because I feel like Terence Crawford has never really fought top-tier competition the way I would have liked him to. Terence Crawford fought some tough guys, but not top tier guys. And I felt like Kell Brook, if he could turn back time a bit and put on the same sort of performance that got him the title against Sean Porter, put on the same sort of performance that saw him be so successful against Errol Spence before getting stopped, I thought this could be a real fight. This guy's bigger than Terence Crawford. This guy's a natural welterweight, albeit he was coming back down from 154 after going up there and going as far as middleweight for a time. But Terence Crawford just proved, man, that as far as he's concerned, when it comes to the welterweight division, and when we're talking about Terence Crawford, we got to stop talking about size. Size, I'm sorry to tell you this, ladies, and some men, size does not matter when it comes to Terence Crawford. It's the motion in the ocean. And, if you were watching that fight for the first 2.5, 3 rounds, whatever it was, you were saying to yourself, man, Kell Brook is looking sharp. Kell Brook is a big, strong guy. He's going to make this into a fight. If you saw the Kavaliauskas fight, you're thinking to yourself, man, Brook has got to be more sturdy than that guy, a better fighter. I think this is going to turn out to be a great fight. And Terence Crawford, man, continues to show an additional wrinkle. This time, he showed his aggression, right? He showed his aggression, and this is something that I saw in the Kavaliauskas fight. When Terence Crawford is aggressive, in the first couple rounds, he downloads the information. But once he hits that sixth gear, man, once he goes from fifth to sixth and starts coming after you, right? Despite the fact that he's coming up from 140 against these natural welterweights, once he starts coming after you, it is a pace that people just cannot handle. The pace, the toughness, the mean streak of I'm trying to take you out, and the boxing skills, it culminates into something that's just too much. And I want to mention something in particular when it comes to Terence Crawford. I talked about his aggression and the mean streak, and those two things go hand in hand with Terence Crawford. If you notice when Terence Crawford fights, right, just like tonight, it seems like he's downloading that information the first couple rounds, but he's looking for holes. He's looking for holes. He's taking his time. He's looking for holes. He gets warmed up pretty quick, and then he just comes after you. And he's willing to take risks. I mean, it's not like Terence Crawford is not taking risks. He's taking risks because he's coming after you. And you can see him do this against Kell Brook because he was kind of throwing his hooks with his head back a little bit, knowing that what's coming back could hurt him. But he's kind of throwing caution to the wind. He's coming after you. And it takes a killer instinct. It takes a mean streak. It takes a fighter's personality to constantly be searching for a way to harm you. That's what Terence Crawford's doing, you guys. You know, you guys might say, oh, what the heck is he talking about? Look, some fighters go in there and they want to play the pity pat game, you know? You go, then I go. Then you go, then I go. Then you hit, then I hit. Then you block that. Terence Crawford doesn't do that. He doesn't allow you to do that. He plays it for a little bit. He figures you out. He looks for something that's juicy to sink his teeth into, like he did tonight. He switched to the southpaw stance because he saw he could counter that jab with the right hand. He saw Kell Brook was relying heavily on that left jab. He figured he could counter it with the right hand. That's why he switched to southpaw. He was putting that strong right counter on Kell Brook. And listen, the shot that finished the fight, that caused the TKO, I sort of disagree with Tim Bradley, but not all the way. See, Tim Bradley, or it may have been Andre Ward, I'm not sure which one of them was speaking at the time, said that Terence Crawford showed tonight that he's got knockout power. And he does. I mean, he does. I'm not saying he doesn't. He does. But that shot that finished the fight tonight, knuckleheads, was a precision, surgical sniper shot. Kell Brook didn't see that shot coming. Had he seen that shot coming, maybe he wouldn't have gotten hurt so badly by that shot. Mind you, he was so hurt that he didn't know where he didn't know what ended the fight. I think I saw him, I was able to use, my lip syncing abilities or whatever it's called, lip reading rather, to see that he was asking his corner what he caught me with a shot. What happened? He didn't even know what happened. And what happened was Kell Brook was so reliant on that jab and put so much into that jab that he, threw a jab very hard, a very stiff jab, and he got countered with a right hand that wasn't even really a hook. It was more a jab, but over Kell Brook's jab and downward. And the reason it impacted as if it were a hook was because if you saw, Terence Crawford was playing the outside foot, he was playing the foot dominance game. He was playing the foot dominance game with Kell Brook, and he was constantly trying to put his lead foot outside of Kell Brook's lead foot. And by doing that, he created an angle where that jab, that counter jab, landed like a hook, not only pushing Kell Brook's face backwards as it impacted, but also to the right like a hook would do. But this was a straight jab. It pushed his face. I mean, he hit him around the area, of the eyes, I would say. Eyes, top of the nose. Knocked his head back, obviously, but because he was at an angle, also caused his head to turn. That rattles your brain, man. That makes your brain bounce, and that shuts you out. That shuts you off. That's exactly what Terence Crawford did tonight, man. It wasn't even the power. It was the precision. And I'm not saying, the reason I'm disagreeing with Timothy Bradley on that one is because I'm not saying that Terence Crawford doesn't have power. I'm saying that the finishing sequence in this fight wasn't because of power alone. It was mostly because of precision and timing and foot dominance and where he was relative to where Kell Brook's face was at the time that jab was thrown. And for him to finish a guy in Kell Brook who, if we look back at his career, we can definitely place him I believe Max Kellerman used the term square in the middle of that PBC pack of welterweights, considering he's 1-1 against those PBC guys. You know, considering what Terence Crawford did against him tonight, Bob Arum is entitled. Bob Arum is entitled to talk that talk he was talking tonight, saying that Errol Spence is going to avoid Terence Crawford because he cannot beat him. And listen, I've always thought it would be a great fight, and it's a fight that needs to happen, and it's not a foregone conclusion by any means, but after tonight, I am hard-pressed to see how Errol Spence can beat a guy like Terence Crawford. I'm hard-pressed. I mean, unless he just charges forward and mauls him, I'm hard-pressed to see how it happens. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, the bell notification icon next to it. Join Knucklehead Nation, the most educated fight channel on YouTube. The only one where, as you support us, you not only help me build the channel, but help me build the only kickboxing promotion that matters, FightersRep Promotions, the only one with a pro license in the whole state of California, which just happens to be the mecca of combat sport. If you don't know, now you know, Knuckleheads. Also, anything you guys donate to the Super Chat or any FightersRep gear you purchase in the link below. Shirts are only $20. Please get your shirt. It'll help me continue to build the promotion and the channel. Before I go into the comments, and I'm going to make a video about this tomorrow most likely, but I thought, besides Terence Crawford's incredible performance, I thought that the Maloney decision today that went to instant replay and they still got it wrong, considering that they used instant replay, they still got it wrong, and there was a title on the line. That may have been one of the worst boxing decisions in history. Listen to what I'm saying here. Even with the help of instant replay technology, they got a decision so wrong that it cost the man winning a title. And in my opinion, that may be one of the biggest travesties in combat sports and boxing history. That is a travesty. That is an atrocity of the highest magnitude and order. Also, since we're on the topic of incompetent officiating, I watched the Paul Felder fight versus Rafael dos Anjos. I want to say that I was right on both my predictions today. I thought Terence Crawford would win. I thought dos Anjos would win. I thought Paul Felder taking that fight short notice was just going to be too steep of a hill to climb. But one of the judges, despite the other two getting it right, in my opinion, and scoring it a shutout for Rafael dos Anjos, one of the judges actually saw a 1-point victory to Paul Felder in that fight, turning the outcome into a split decision. I mean, I don't know what else needs to happen before some of you out there, Knucklehead Nation, decide to join your commissions in your state and turn this thing around, or are they just going to have to, involve artificial intelligence and just pull these decisions out of the hands of human beings? I mean, my goodness. I mean, the replay debacle was one thing. The Paul Felder decision, split decision, was, I don't know what to say. Guys, cheers. I don't know what to say anymore. I just don't know what to say. And of course, boxing out-corrupts MMA with their ridiculously incompetent use of the instant replay tonight, where they still got it wrong after almost 30 minutes of reviewing the instant replay. But I don't know. All I could say is, May God bless, may the universe bless, brother. That's all I got to say. Let's see here. Bitcoin Calculus, appreciate you being in here. Billy says, very impressive performance. He figures guys out and picks them apart. And he doesn't just pick them apart, Billy. He goes in there to hurt them. He goes for the kill. He goes for the kill, man. You know, it's a special guy that comes from a special environment that's, you know, maybe it's nurture, maybe it's nature. It takes a special guy to go after you like that. He doesn't allow you to stay comfortable. He comes after you. He switches stance. He's constantly looking to harm you. And that's why he's incredible. That's why he's incredible. And that's why after tonight, you got to say... That's why after tonight, you got to say he's either pound for pound. It's either him or Canelo Alvarez, man. That was beautiful. Let's see here. Very impressive. Marco Martinez says, Crawford did great, but the NSAC ruined it for me. I wasn't as interested as I should have been because the commission was ruined the night. You know, after that Maloney decision, my chest was hurting. I was upset and my chest was hurting. I had anxiety. Not going to lie to you guys. So I agree with you there, man. I can see how that can ruin how you feel about the rest of the fight. That was crazy. Billy said the moment he switched to southpaw, it was game over. Yup. He knew that this guy was reliant on that jab, and he wanted to take that jab away from him right away. And he did it by countering it over the top with the right hand. John Oliver says, confirmed, Brook is done. Drama of Joshua headbutt was more exciting. Still hasn't fought top-tier guys. Kell quit. I told you he and Bob Arum need to break barriers and fight PBC welterweights. I don't think that's going to happen. It should happen. But as we all know, there are way too many promoters in boxing. They're not willing to work together because that means one of their fighters may lose. And the culprit behind all of this is something I've been preaching against on this channel since the beginning of time. And that is the A-side versus B-side fights. The protection of the artificial O on everybody's record. People are so caught up in never losing a fight that they are ruining the sport. That's the reason these guys may actually never fight each other. That's the reason these guys may actually never fight each other. That's part of the reason, besides the fact that I love kickboxing. That's part of the reason I started a kickboxing promotion. The only one in California with a pro license, to create something anew, a culture where we don't have that. You know what I mean? A culture where we don't have to deal with that. You know, I'll fly to another country, beat up 10 young men that are trying to make a living for their family, get my record to 10-0, come back to the States, get sold to a promoter for a ludicrous amount of money, and then, you know, have a manufactured, carefully guided trajectory towards a championship title. I mean, it's crazy, but that's the culture that we've allowed to permeate, and that's the culture that's been allowed to permeate, and that's the culture that's in control of boxing. And that's why these guys will not fight each other. Very hard. It's going to be very hard. Abdul Karasteas, what's up, Abdul? Appreciate you, mate. I expected Brook to do better than that. Triple G turned him into a quitter. Maybe. But I thought he did a great job against Errol Spence. But tonight, he just... I don't know. Listen, I'm not gonna sit here and say that Kell Brook is no good. Kell Brook can fight. Kell Brook was in that fight tonight. Terence Crawford is just that good. Terence Crawford is just that good. He's just that good. Billy says, agreed. Terence assesses the situation and then just pounces. Such a good fighter. He goes for blood. He's coming for your blood. He's coming for you. Brook has already been finished twice. Nothing new. He got timed. Yeah, but he got finished under different circumstances, one fold. Let's be fair. Let's be fair. He didn't get knocked out, and he didn't get TKO'd in your typical fashion. He got his orbital bone broken. You know, that's a reason to stop a fight if the orbital bone goes. That's a reason to take a knee and quit. That's fine because you don't want to get brain damage and go blind for the rest of your life. Tonight he got knocked out. Tonight he got knocked out. Big shout out to my brother George Estrada with the donation. Says, what up, my boy? LA in the house. Shout out. Los Angeles in the house. George, I'm out here in San Pedro, brother. Let me know when you're out here. We'll go to San Pedro Tacos. Man, they got the dopest tacos. Appreciate your generosity. Hopefully you come out to a fight as soon as we do a fight soon. Appreciate your generosity, man. Everything you guys donate or purchase in the links below is just going to get reinvested back into the channel and to building up these fighters. So, appreciate it. Hey, guys, take a moment to hit the like button. It's free. Appreciate that, Marco Martinez. Hey, listen to him. Appreciate it, man. Revival Amen says, check out IBFP now live after this. Huh? I don't know what that is. But, if you're trying to redirect people, at least subscribe here before you start redirecting people somewhere else. Appreciate it. Movie Game Review says, Kell Brook should retire. I thought he already did. Billy says, Maloney decision was poor. He looked much better than his opponent while it lasted. I agree with that. And you never know what would have happened had the fight continued. You never know. But he earned that win tonight. Maloney earned that win. And he got robbed. And the only people that I know of that saw that fight as a disqualification as opposed to a win for Maloney or a no contest or whatever it was ruled, the only people that thought that was that athletic commission. It's the only people that I know of that thought that was the correct decision. It's incredible. The whole world, my entire timeline, everybody on social media, the universe, the other universes and the multiverse, they're all talking to each other and they're saying Maloney won that fight. And that commission, with that replay technology, they got it wrong. It's just, I'm blown away. I'm blown away. Don't get me started. Listen, let me take a sip of my whiskey. What are you guys drinking? Write down what you're drinking or whatever it is that you're doing. Right down below. Shout out. Oh, my goodness. What up, bro, says George Estrada. Appreciate you, brother, man. You the man. I'm good. We're good. Marco Martinez says, even Paul Felder looked puzzled by that. Did you see his face? He said, 48-47, me? He looked around like, me? What? How's that possible? Incredible, man. Incredible. Where that crazy talk now, says CJ. I don't know what you're talking about, but thanks for being in here. Bilal Diwan Miah says, bro, talk about Habib. Habib's not fighting tonight, brother. Movie Game Review says it took like 30 minutes to make a decision. It went on forever. And 30 minutes to make the wrong decision. It took 30 minutes to make the wrong decision. Bilal Diwan says, Kell. What a shame, man. Mark Branches says, please keep Canelo out of this, sir. Brook was a straight cherry pick. Crawford ain't getting no love for that. Shout out from GG Denver Heights, San Antonio, Texas. Shout out to San Antonio. I didn't say anything about Canelo. I think he's fantastic. I don't think Brook was a cherry pick. That's where me and you are going to disagree. Kell Brook is a great fighter. Terence Crawford is just better. Marco Martinez says, did you happen to see the KO by Chaos in the UFC co-main? Turned the guy's lights completely off in 30 seconds for the second fight in a row. I heard about it. I got to check it out. I heard about it. Fee, much respect for being the boss and doing your work. Appreciate you, my man. Appreciate you. Bilal Diwan says, Kell has lost it. No longer the same boxer. Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right, Bilal. But maybe Terence Crawford is just that damn good. Mad Dog H says, Brook was doing good and Bud always starts slow. Full credit to Bud. He was, Mad Dog. He was doing good. He was doing good. But then he got found out quick. He got found out quick, man. And he paid the price. Bilal says, hi from London. Shout out to London. Appreciate you being in here, Bilal, man. Much appreciated. Really didn't expect him to stop Brook faster than Triple G, says Phone Jack. Me neither. Me neither, man. George Estrada says, you're welcome, my boy. Keep up the good work. Appreciate you, man. Thank you, George. Bilal says, Coke. Enjoy your Coke, brother. I kind of wish I had some Coke right now. Marco Martinez says, Robert Byrd and his wife need to retire. One can't score a fight correct, and the other must be blind. George Estrada says, Modelo time. Hey, it's always Modelo time, brother. Listen, man. Guys, I'm so impressed with Terence Crawford. I'm so impressed with Terence Crawford tonight. You know, I've never been this impressed with Terence Crawford so far in my entire career. And Phone Jack says, Spence doesn't want any of that Bud work. Man, you know, Spence won't even do that to Danny Garcia. I agree, man. I agree. I mean, what we saw tonight was phenomenal. Look, he's so good at everything he does, Terence Crawford. He's so good at everything he does. I think the only way to beat him is to just bum rush him and bully him. Bum rush him and bully him. Because he's on another level. When it comes to boxing IQ, this man's on another level. He's got the speed. He's got the reflexes. He's got the punch arsenal. He's got the ability to switch stances. What's missing? What's missing? I mean, he's got good defense. He starts off a little bit slow, but I mean, you can't say he's a horribly slow start. I mean, he starts off a little slow. He's figuring you out. He's figuring you out. He's looking at your stance. He's seeing what punches you're throwing, and then he's saying, every time you do something stupid that he likes, Oh, you want to keep throwing the jab? I got you. And, man, brilliant. What was it? Second round, third round? Went southpaw. Got the foot dominance going. Waited for the jab. Bop! Timed it with the right. Over and over again. Bop! And I was just like, man. Crazy. Prediction between Pac versus Crawl. Eddie Malik. What's up, my brother? If you guys haven't already, listen, hit the subscribe button, the bell notification icon next to it. Join Knucklehead Nation, man. You join Knucklehead Nation, we're building our own promotion. And you guys can be a part of that. I could not pick Manny Pacquiao over Terence Crawford. I can't do it. As much as I love Manny Pacquiao, as much as he's had a Hall of Fame career, as much as he's an 8-division world champion, as much as he's got super speed and super power and mystical powers and so on and so forth, I cannot pick anybody right now against Terence Crawford. The only person that I'll pick against Terence Crawford right now is Canelo Alvarez and Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua. Those are the three people I pick against Terence Crawford if they fought. That's how impressed I am by the man. Eddie, thank you, brother. Thank you, man, for subscribing. Much appreciated. Listen, this is not your regular fight channel. unbiased. Love to hear your opinions. All opinions are welcome as long as people come correct and with respect. All opinions are welcome. We have love for everybody, and it's not your typical fight channel because you're not only building the channel, but you're building the best kickboxing promotion around. And I can't wait for this whole lockdown to be over so we can put some fights together. Let's see here. Bilal Diwan says talk about Habib versus GSP next time. Inshallah Bilal, inshallah. نتكلم عن حبيب مرة الجاية حبيبي. Godaddy Allure says Bud is super dangerous, man. He got that innocent look on his face, but very deadly. Oh, man. He has that innocent look on his face outside of the ring. But once he gets in that ring, oh, man. He's coming for blood. You guys don't understand. I mean, I see it all the time. At the gym, as a promoter, promoting these young fighters, watching them 18 and older, watching them progress. I've seen kids turn from timid to absolute savages in the FightersRep Lions Den. I've seen it. This guy's a savage. This guy's coming for your blood. This guy's got the mentality of a kickboxer, a Muay Thai fighter. He's coming for you. He's looking to finish you. He's always looking to finish you. He's not looking to get a decision. He's looking to make you uncomfortable. He doesn't want you to be comfortable for 1 second. He's not playing the pity pat game. I'm telling you guys, he's not playing volleyball. He's playing dodgeball. And he's not dodging. He's throwing the ball. Bilal says, Kell may have done better, Old Brook, if Khan didn't lose first the way he did. Well, I mean, I don't know if Khan's loss had anything to do with, Kell's performance tonight. I mean, I don't see that at all. But I appreciate the comment. Look, Kell looked great tonight. I mean, the Kell Brook of tonight, who knows? Maybe he goes up against another welterweight and he beats them all. But Terence Crawford found the remedy. Terence Crawford has found the remedy with everybody that he's been in there with so far. My only gripe with Terence Crawford is I felt like his level of competition wasn't where it needed to be. I felt like tonight was a really good litmus test. For me. This is my opinion. Agree or don't. It's welcome either way. But agree or don't. But for me, he passed tonight with flying colors. Flying colors. This man's a killer in the ring. He's a killer. Let's see here. Bugsy, king of the DMV. Same logo as mine. Appreciate you, brother. Hey, get your FightersRep gear, man. Get your FightersRep gear. Help me build up these young warriors, man. We got the best young fighters in the world out here in Southern California, and Northern California, man. A lot of them are hitting us up to fight, too. We're going to be expanding up there. So definitely hit us up. But yeah, I mean, hey, it's basically the Lion of Judah, brother. What more do you want from life, my brother? This is the best show on YouTube, hands down, says George Estrada. Thank you, my brother. Thank you. Óyeme. Saludos, George Estrada. Saludos. Nothing like some whiskey to get it right on a Saturday night. Bugsy, king of the DMV, says Bud's the best welterweight since Pretty Boy Floyd. You're on to something. You know what, Bugsy? I gotta agree, man. Right now, I gotta agree. And since Floyd, because for me, up until this point, and a lot of people will disagree with me again, this is a channel where all opinions are welcome, including my own, obviously, because this shit is mine. I say whatever I want. For me, Floyd Mayweather's the best boxer I've ever seen. That's my opinion. Best boxer I've ever seen. I mean, I know there were greats like Sugar Ray Leonard and stuff. They were fantastic. But I never seen anyone do the stuff that Floyd Mayweather did as consistently as he did for as long as he did. And not just in the ring, but outside the ring. I thought he was special. I thought he really knew how to play the game. And for you to say something like that, and for me to agree with it, is a big deal. It's a big deal. Crawford is the man. Crawford is that man. Killer instinct, Bugsy says, 100%. Listen, not everybody has that. Not everybody has that. That's the difference. For me, that's always going to be the difference. For example, between Michael Jordan and LeBron James. Right? That's going to be the difference. That killer instinct. Terence Crawford, man. If killer instinct was a trait on the back of a Marvel superheroes card from back in the 90s, and Terence Bud Crawford was a superhero, that killer instinct rating would fly off the card. It would fly off the card. Because I cannot think of anybody with a killer instinct like Bud Crawford. Canelo's got a good one. Fury's got a good one. Who else? I'm sure you guys can name some more. But Bud Crawford's he's a vampire, bro. The guy's a vampire. The guy wants your blood. He just wants your blood. He's trying to kill you in there. He's trying to kill you. He's trying to kill you in there. And for you to want to kill somebody in the ring and you're not mad at them, for you to be able to get yourself there, it's a different mentality. Let me tell you guys, that's different. Let me see here. Brian J says Pacquiao's fighting McGregor next and retiring, so Spence and Crawford can worry about fighting each other. Hopefully that fight happens. You know how boxing is. Hopefully that fight happens, man. And Pacquiao deserves that. Let him beat up Conor McGregor or get beat up. I doubt it, but let him fight Conor McGregor, make a shit ton of money, and get the hell out. Will absolutely, says Bugsy King of the DMV. Appreciate you, Bugsy, man. You're the man. Hey, if you guys haven't subscribed already, please do so. Hit the subscribe button, the bell notification icon next to it. Join Knucklehead Nation. Again, the only channel where you're also helping us grow. The only kickboxing promotion with a pro license in the whole state of California, the mecca of combat sports. And smash the like button, man. I only got 9 likes and 351 people have been in and out of here. Smash the like button. Show some love, guys. Appreciate it. Adam Brake says, Bud hits a lot harder than people think. Spence better keep running. He does hit a lot harder than people think. I agree with that. And that's a good point you make. But tonight's finish, and I'm going to stick to my guns on this one tonight. Tonight's finish was not just a result of hard hitting. Tonight's finish was a result of precision, timing, and foot dominance and placement. He was just outside of Kell Brook's jab. He countered him over the top of the jab. That's the reason he switched to southpaw. It wasn't even a hard shot. It was just brilliant timing and precision. Hit him in a spot where his brain rattled rapidly, in his head, and got the finish. I mean, it was a beautiful, beautiful setup. Beautiful finish. And that's the thing with Bud Crawford. He hits hard. But he doesn't need to. That shot was money. That shot was precision. Kell Brook didn't see that coming. He didn't see it coming. Just beautiful stuff, man. Bilal says Kell has psychological issues due to the first injuries with eye sockets and never been the same. Maybe you're right. George Estrada says, cheers, my brother. Salud. Bum Ajalbo says, Crawford is the man. Bum, you're right about that, brother. And shout out to Nigeria. I see you got the Nigerian flag there, my brother. Big shout out. Nigeria. Bugsy, king of the DMV, says, I totally agree with you. Floyd's my number one, too. Great minds think alike, brother. What do you think of Gary Russell Jr.? Isn't he from over there in your area, the DMV? I like Gary Russell Jr., man. I feel like he doesn't get the credit he deserves, and I hope he gets some good fights. He's got some big balls on him. He talks a lot, but he's got some big balls on him. He wants to fight everybody. I'd like to see him fight people and maybe, get the credit he deserves. Adam Brake says, Bud makes every good fighter look easy. He sure does, man. Lamar Middlebrook says, Errol Spence Jr. better just pay that $1 million bet. Terence Crawford, I bowed down to the king, bro. I agree, man. Listen, Terence Crawford, man. I'm in Omaha, Nebraska. It's cold as hell and raining, and it was cold. It was a cold day in hell tonight for Kell Brook, brother. And it's going to be raining all the way back on that long-ass flight to the UK, man, for him. Kevin from Chicago says they hosed Tony Maloney, man. That was horrible, bro. That was horrible. Great analogy, Jordan versus James. I was thinking the same exact thing. Look at this, Bugsy. Look at this, Bugsy. You got to come out to California, man. Get some tacos. Get some whiskey. Talk about the fights. Maybe you come watch our fights. Kevin from Chicago says Maloney got robbed. Clear as day, George. Of course, just another coincidence. No agenda at all. Tonight, I'm going to put tonight's errors on incompetence. Because, listen, nobody cared if Paul Felder won. Nobody cared about that Maloney fight. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think anybody cared about them enough to want to rig them. That was pure, unadulterated, 99% pure incompetence. Distilled. That was incompetence distilled, what we saw tonight. And it made my chest hurt. It made my chest hurt what happened to Maloney tonight. It hurt my chest. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm crazy. Kevin from Chicago. Shout out, my brother. Lamar Middlebrook. Appreciate you being in here, bro. He says, Errol Spence Jr. is not taking no loss. Listen. If you're Errol Spence, I mean, look, these fighters, they want to fight. I'm sure he wants to fight Terence Crawford, but if you're Errol Spence, tonight you're nervous. Tonight you're nervous. The blood's rushing. The adrenaline's rushing. That's a scary prospect to be in there with a guy. And here's the thing. I mean, the knock on Crawford is, is he big enough? Is he strong enough for the middleweight division? And what he did tonight against Kell Brook as compared to what Errol Spence did against Kell Brook when they fought, night and day. And not only shows he's big and strong enough, he shows he's big and strong enough and then some after tonight's performance. And then some. And then some. Brian J. says Pacquiao in his prime against Cotto Margarito was a joy to watch above any of Floyd pay-per-view fights. Floyd was the better fighter, but Pacquiao was a beast in his prime. Brian J., we never know what would have happened had they fought each other in their prime. We never know. I would definitely give Pacquiao a chance in a fight in his prime against Floyd in his prime. That's a great fight. That's not what we got when they fought. That being said, I still think, for me, Floyd Mayweather is the best that I've seen. That I've seen in boxing. Lamar Middlebrook says, I just subscribed. Much appreciated, Lamar. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you doing that. Says, Kell Brook gave a nice jab. I thought he had a great jab. I thought he was putting up a good performance. Maybe he relied too heavily on the jab. And he got figured out. He got countered. He got figured out. Beautiful. Just a beautiful display of boxing and killer instinct and everything, man. The guy's got everything. Terence Crawford. He's got everything. Bilal says, does Crawford beat Mayweather in his prime? Oh. You can't ask me that right now. I mean, I need like a month of intense pontification to determine who would win that fight. That fight is too crazy for me to just sit here and give you an answer right now. Those two deserve too much respect for me to just blurt out an answer. I don't think I could do it. Lamar Middlebrook says, Kell Brook said the judge didn't allow him to go out on his shield. WTF. Yeah, but he was also asking, did I get caught with a shot? What'd he catch me with? He wasn't all there. So you can't really talk to guys after they get finished like that. 9 times out of 10, they're out of it. He didn't even know what happened. So I always think it's a bad idea when they interview guys after a fight like that. It's just a bad idea. OO says, when a fighter says nobody has ever done that to me, that's saying a lot. Yep. He violated him. He got violated in there tonight. That was sad. H96 Pro says, I'd like to see Bud fight Thurman. God bless. It would be a good fight. But I don't think Thurman's head's in the game anymore, man. I think the Thurman before he got hurt was different from the Thurman after he got hurt and fought Pacquiao. I thought that was a different Keith Thurman. Lamar Middlebrook says, a headbutt my ass. I agree. That was bullshit. Crawford is pound for pound now. I can't really argue against that, man. The only person in that vicinity along with him is Canelo, because of his resume, too. But we'll see. That made me feel like when Roy Jones Jr. lost in the Olympics. That was bad, man. You're right, Lamar. That was bad. Oh, it says Maloney was robbed, man. They had every opportunity to get it right. It was robbery. That was crazy. To clear up what I meant when I said Errol Spence Jr. isn't taking a lose, I'm saying he knows Terence Crawford give him a blemish on his career. That's like asking Floyd Mayweather Jr. to fight Terence. Yeah. I agree. Adam Brake says that bullet to the head turned Bud's brain into a computer. He's been downloading fight data and killing ever since. Superhero shit. Maybe that's what it is, man. Maybe there was like a little radioactive spider on the tip of that bullet or some shit, man. Says, just subscribe. Loving the show. Good work. Thank you, man. And we put out daily content. I've got interviews with fighters, coaches. We put our free fights on here. You guys can go back and watch them. The ones posted more recently will be lower quality because they're older fights that we've kind of re-uploaded, and because we can't do fights right now because of the lockdown. But we're hoping to come back at the beginning of next year. But yeah, you can go through and watch. I mean, we've got to be over 100 free fights on here for you, and the best rule set I think in combat sports. I mean, it's stand and bang, the kickboxing rule set that we do under the IKF. People just got to stand and bang it out. There's no clinching. It's like boxing, but kicks and knees are allowed. It's basically boxing where kicks and knees are allowed. Badass rule set. These guys are warriors. We deal with some of the best camps in the world. Anderson Silva's son has fought for us twice. Black House MMA sends us guys. CMMA sends us guys. Saxon Muay Thai sends us guys. Systems Training Center. I mean, these are all camps with guys in the UFC and Bellator and everywhere else. So I think you guys will love our fights. Thurman became a diva, Jorge STL says. He kind of did. Brian J says, to be honest, 147 is weak. If 40-year-old Pacquiao, Danny Garcia, and Brook are the best fighters, 135 is more attractive with Teofimo, Tank, Haney, and Ryan Garcia. Well, but I mean, you're kind of picking the three, you're kind of picking like the old guy, Danny Garcia, who's kind of, no longer in his prime, and Brook, who just got beat tonight. I mean, what about Terence Crawford? What about Errol Spence? Sean Porter is still a tough guy. I mean, not the best to watch, but still a tough guy, Bilal Diwan says, is boxing fading away due to UFC MMA? Absolutely. I mean, not just due to UFC MMA. I mean, it's kind of due to the difference in culture between the two, not just because of MMA, right? And what I mean is, in the UFC, you have one promoter. I mean, there's Bellator as far as MMA goes, right? But the UFC is just one promoter, one belt in each division. The best are forced to fight the best. You don't have the artificial, manufacturing of undefeated records. You don't have A-side versus B-side fights, really. It's the best guys in the division have to fight the other best guys to determine who's the best guy. And they do a shit ton of marketing and promotion. And that's always going to be boxing, where you have several different promoters, several different regulatory and sanctioning bodies. Everybody wants to get their hands in the cookie jar, but nobody wants to work with the other side or fight the other fighter from the other promotion. It will never again be one belt, one face, one name, to take a phrase from, I believe it's Deontay Wilder. It'll never be that. That's something I can do with my sport, in the sport of kickboxing. That's something we can do here on FightersRep. And that's why I ask you guys to support us, because that's something we can do. We can make one belt, the FightersRep belt for each division. That's it, no others. The best got to fight the best. If you don't want to fight, I'll find somebody else. That's the way I roll. That's the way I do things, because I don't want that culture. And winning isn't everything. If you go in there and you put on a good fight, you're going to get invited back to our cards, 100%. You go in there, you put on a good fight, you're responsible, and you make weight, you sell tickets, you're professional, you don't act like an animal and cause any problems, you're going to get invited back. Every time. Let's see here. Bob Arum trying so hard, maybe too hard tonight, to keep Bud. He better keep Bud, man. He better keep Bud. Virgil Ortiz is the only 147 fighter that can challenge Spence and Crawford, but he's not there yet, Brian. I think he needs some more time to mature, man. Lamar Middlebrook says, amen. Appreciate you, man. Guys, I've been on almost an hour. I want to thank you guys for joining us. This is Get It Right Saturday night. We do this every Saturday, immediately after the fights. Every Saturday. We put out content every day, typically at 7 p.m. Pacific time. That's 10 p.m. on the East Coast. So definitely tune in, subscribe, watch what we put out, man. People love that. Some of these videos now are getting like thousands of views, and I really appreciate you guys. Little about me again, I'm a promoter out here in California, the mecca of combat sports, the only kickboxing promotion in the state of California, and this business is mine, this channel is mine, and your presence is greatly appreciated, and everybody's opinion is welcome here. It's not like these other boxing channels and stuff where they favor people based on, immutable characteristics. We'll leave it at that. Everybody's welcome here, and your opinion's welcome, again, as long as you come correct. If you come in here and you start insulting people and going crazy, this channel's not for you. This channel's for adults. This channel's for adults that love the fight game. So I want to thank you guys for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Be safe. And tune in tomorrow, because I think tomorrow I got to make a video on this whole Maloney debacle, because this is embarrassing. Knuckleheads, much love to you. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. The bell notification icon. I'm out of here.